In Shvetashvatara Upanishad, it is advised to all the teachers that this knowledge of Vedanta, this knowledge of the truth is very sacred and very secretive also. It should not be taught to anybody just like that. So it says, Vedante paramam guhyam purakale prachoditam na aprashantaya datavyam na putraya ashishyaya va punaha. Which means, this knowledge of Vedanta, the ultimate knowledge inside the Vedas, is very sacred and was taught only in the ancient times by the great learned ones to the deserving ones. Therefore, do not teach it to aprashanta, means those who have no peace of mind because they are unsteady in their thinking, in their behavior. Don't teach them. Aputraya, don't teach to those who are not your own son or daughter, in the sense your own children. And ashishyaya vapunaha, don't teach it to those who are not your disciples. So if you want to learn this knowledge, you have to be one of the three. One, that you have to be a person with great peace of mind. And only people who have no desires, who are absolutely selfless, can have peace. Because the moment you have one desire, howsoever sacred that desire might be, it leads to lack of peace. Now you want to fulfill the desire, so you keep running, chasing after it. So aprashanta. And even to learn this knowledge also, you should have patience. Gurus used to test the people thoroughly before accepting them as disciples to teach them. So those who have no patience to wait for their turn, they are also aprashanta. They have no peace of mind, they are restless. So aprashantaya datavyam. Aputraya, if the Guru knows his son well, because it is his own son, or the disciple is, whoever is the disciple is the son. So he knows how good, bad, or whatever he is, whether he deserves to learn, not to learn, and things like that. So teach to the son or the daughter, as the case may be, because you know them thoroughly. They will not waste it, they will not misuse it, they will not abuse it, and things like that. Then ashishyaya vapunaha, don't teach it to those who are not your disciples. It means you have to accept them as your disciples, and then only you teach them. And before accepting them, you have to thoroughly shake the nail and check whether they're really truly eager to learn, whether they're truly deserving, whether they want to be disciple in the first place. And the Guru then has to accept him or her as the disciple, and after accepting them only can the Guru teach this knowledge. This is how the Upanishad advises all those teachers. One day somebody asked me, Swami, you only tell us that it should not be taught to just anybody like this. Then you give discourses on Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads and things like that. And you teach to all and sundry. Those who are sitting in the hall, they all get to know. Even the students in the school who may or may not understand also get to know. Even people who have no faith in the scriptures also, because of the YouTube and all the modern media, they also get to know. So is it right for you to teach like this? I said, in the olden times, when this sloka was written, the world was very different. It wasn't the world like this. And there were more eager people. Very few people were not very eager or not fit for becoming disciples. So the Upanishad advised, please check thoroughly about those people. Otherwise, most of the people were good. That was the golden time. Today what happens is that nobody is interested in learning about these things, and not they are deserving, not they are fit to learn. Even if I teach them, anyway they will not understand anything out of it, so as good as I have not taught them at all. But those who have even little interest, and they may not know that I am here teaching these things, at least they will get to know through whatever the social media and things like that. Who knows, something may change inside them. Who knows, some transformation may happen. And that may lead to something good for the society. So nevertheless, let us teach. But to our students, they are like the putras or putris, and they are like shishyas. Because of that, they are also getting to learn all these things. And this is very unique to our institution. I was talking to somebody who came from the US. And they were very impressed by the idea that the kind of culture and character building that is going on, apart from imparting education, that's a done thing, because it is a school, everybody should learn some academic stuff. But beyond that, the way children were responding, they are quoting from Upanishads and shlokas, small children, Bhagavad Gita, and things like that. That made me so happy, because I felt these are Putra, these are Shishya, and these are Prashanta also. But at least in front of me, they are all embodiments of peace. And they all are learning and keenly observing. And that makes us so happy, because See, this scriptural truth, this knowledge has been kept away from the masses in the name of all these orthodoxy. You are not Prashanta, you are not Putra, you are not Shishya, you don't deserve it. In fact, all great knowledge systems were declined over a period because it was not shared with everyone. There were a lot of rifts and buts. Ekalavya was there. He wanted to learn archery. But our Dronacharya won't teach him because Dronacharya is supposed to teach only the princes and the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas. What is the Ekalavya, who was whatever, son of a tribesman or something? He was not fitting or not falling in the category of those who are deserved to learn. So he was not being taught. That's unfair. According to his unfair practice. The essence of the spirit of the shloka was just don't teach to anybody who may misuse it. The Rakshasas can come and learn and then they misuse all the knowledge. That has happened many times in the scriptures. You have mention of very demonic characters. Even for that matter, Ravana, great, so to say, intellect, great abilities, but at the end all that is put to wrong use and destroying and harming others. So that is the idea of not teach just anybody. Be careful in teaching. But when we are teaching these children in our institutions, without any discrimination whatsoever, I feel very happy, especially when they respond to it. They all are learning and able to explain. Today they were telling about Bhagavad Gita, the essence of Bhagavad Gita in 3 aspects of Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. And clearly they were explaining how it is useful for everyone. Coming out from the mouths of school children, not just repeating shlokas like parrot. A lot of children, they memorize it and they're known for remembering it, but they understand the essence of it. And they're able to explain. That made me so happy. I thought if these children can learn like this, they can teach the whole world how to study these scriptures and how to practice it in their lives. So also these small children from the school, they were doing skits about how a Sai student and his schedule is different from a Sai student or whichever, not a Sai student who lives a regular life, wakes up at 8 o'clock just before the school bus arrives and then spends all the time watching videos on YouTube. And 2 kinds of students, very cleverly, very intelligent children, very good at their skills, acting skills, delivery of dialogues, and very good at English. I was very surprised. When 2-3 years ago when we changed over to NIOS, the biggest challenge that we were facing is that we must teach English to all the children, especially those who are coming from rural areas who do not know. So now so many of these children are speaking such good English. That made me really happy because I think it's not that a language, this is better or that, but the important thing is that unless you know the language in which you can communicate to the larger world, your knowledge will remain with you. It won't benefit anybody. A lot of people from the old times, they took scriptures from India, Max Muller, about. So many of them who transcribed these, translated these into their languages and learned from it. Because the language was Sanskrit and their language was different. So a lot of people worked very hard to disseminate this knowledge over a period. Today, the biggest language that is spoken everywhere almost is English. So children have to learn English if they want to communicate with the world. Like Swami Vivekananda, who went from India in the Chicago conference, Parliament of Religions, and he spoke in English. Because he could speak in English, he could impress upon so many people about the idea of what India is, what our culture is, what our spirituality is. So this is the idea why children should learn English, and they are putting efforts. That makes me happy again. And I'm sure all this is happening because of so much of effort being put by so many of the teachers. The lot of Guru Matas are there in our institutions, especially in this Gurukulam. And a lot of students who have graduated from the postgraduate studies this year, or they are pursuing their postgraduate studies, are all located or situated in this Gurukulam. And this dream that we should have a teacher-pupil ratio 1:10, so that every student gets personalized attention and a lot of character molding can happen, that is being achieved in this Gurukulam. Of course, with some of them who are PG students, some of them who have just graduated or are graduating. Nevertheless, it's what we wanted to achieve. It's going there. But still, we have so many more schools. We need more teachers, more of our own products who can go there and teach them. Vedic studies students are doing a great job because they have learnt all these things. Now they are posted in all campuses. It's kind of a beginning of a great revolution, I would say. Spiritualizing the educational system, teaching this early on to the children when they are in impressionable age, and making them understand the essence of it, not just memorizing things for the sake of it. And that made me so happy, and I felt like sharing with all the other campuses also across the state and beyond, that this is what our education system is ought to do. Subjects will be taught. Academics cannot be compromised. We are an educational institution. That's the bottom line. But more importantly, what kind of education institution are we? We are an institution which gives you holistic knowledge, holistic development. And that includes a thorough understanding of our own scriptural knowledge. Without that, we will be blind. We would not know where to go, how to go forward in life. But when I heard these little children speaking so well, it made me really happy. And I felt this is what can lead to a better world, better country, better culture in our own citizens. Many times I keep listening about the sad, the present status of things, as it is. People don't even know who was Rama's father, or they don't know what was the story in Bhagavatam about Krishna, or they don't even know some basic scriptural thing. They're not interested. But they don't want to know what happened in Bhagavad Gita. They don't want to know what happens in Ramayana. And it's not their sole fault is not only theirs. Parents have not taken interest in teaching them. Teachers in education system is not taken interest in teaching them. So how can you just solely blame the children that you are not interested? You never created interest in them in the first place. You never taught them what is important for them. So these things are being taught early from the age of 10, 12. That is going to make a big difference. And I'm sure this generation, which is now under this particular system of education, over the next 8, 10, 12 years, they will grow into very good graduates who are very thorough with the understanding of scriptures, who have a purpose and a vision for their lives, and who will put their abilities, skills, and capacities for the betterment of everyone, not just their own welfare. This is very obvious by looking at these children. And I hope they maintain this passion, this innocence, this purity, even when they grow up, and not lose it on the way. That's what happens most of the times. So keep yourselves always connected with these roots of our culture, which is our spirituality. Without that, you cannot be good forever. You can do good for a certain number of days, certain weeks, but you can't be good forever unless you are rooted in this idea of devotion to God. That alone can give us the strength to do good day after day, irrespective of whatever be the results, however people think of us, whatever they think of us. Despite that, we can go on doing good only when we believe in this greater idea of God. And that children are able to pick up through small exhibits. They were teaching, they were showing what they have learned. This makes me very happy. Not that I am not happy seeing your science exhibition or social exhibition or language exhibitions. I'm happy to see that too. But somewhere I know that that is also being taught in every school in the world. It's not unique to us. It is not special about us. What is special about us? What is that thing that sets us apart? What makes us different and unique? Paravidya classes. This is what is making us different from others. While we learn everything else, we also learn scriptures, which is so important. And somehow in India, some kind of apathy, some kind of a disinterest has kind of taken over the society, and people are not really interested. They don't know what rituals are, why it has to be done. A lot of these scriptures which were kept kind of away from the masses. That is the reason why a lot of people did not understand the true meaning of our religion and philosophy. And they misunderstood, and when somebody else countered them or argued, they had no answers, they could not defend themselves. And they felt they were subscribing to a religion, a philosophy which was not good enough. And that made them feel diffident, and lack of confidence happened, and then they gave up the pursuit of the religion or the philosophy or the scriptures. So this is the curse which has fallen upon this generation. And the only way to resolve it is to go and teach this to more and more people. So today when you are students learning this, I'm sure tomorrow you will be teachers teaching this to 10 others. And from there this will spread to all parts of the world. And in few years you will see for yourself. People from around the world would like to learn about Indian spirituality, not the religion part of it, but more about the Vedanta part of it. That idea that everything is one, everything is permeated by divinity. Nobody is less, nobody is more. Everybody is equal in that oneness. This idea is going to be the most popular idea in times to come, because this idea alone can solve the problems of the world. All discrimination, differences, all these inequalities, injustice, everything will disappear with this just one idea, that we are all divine and therefore we are equal, and therefore we are one. So what externally if we are different? So what we have backgrounds, our locations are different, but our inner core is one and the same. That idea is going to be very powerful. That is going to change the way world thinks. But for that, more and more people have to be knowing about it. More and more people have to understand this and practice this. That's where these children can make a big difference. And small children are the best because they are very open and they don't have all the logic and rationale of a hard-headed, educated graduate. They are simple, innocent children who pick up things very fast. And they learn it so quick. So that made me so happy, and it is simply amazing. Sometimes I have to pinch myself to make myself believe that all this is real. And all these kids are learning like this, all this is happening all the time. It is so wonderful. And whenever guests come and they tell, this is so good, what we are doing is so important, and we are doing it so well. It's not just some hodgepodge, hanky-panky type of work, just because it's some charitable organization. They all tell you are running it so professionally. Everybody knows their job and everybody does it with so much of love, so much of passion in it. These are CEOs of companies. They are not some, just ordinary people on the road. They have run companies, organizations. They are heading such organizations. They come and tell, we haven't seen a charity organization running like this. But that is the beauty of our organization. Everybody does what they do with a lot of love, a lot of passion and commitment, as if it is their own work, it is their own thing, not working for somebody else. You work professionally in an organization, put your professional skills to use, not just for making a profit, but actually to uplift so many more people. In the process, you also are being looked after, and your time and your energy and skills are being spent to help so many more people who otherwise have nowhere to go. What an opportunity if you're a teacher in this organization, if you're a doctor in this organization, if you're a volunteer. So many of these volunteers were sitting. They're all simple folks coming from small towns. But they're coming here to serve in this hospital. Many of them are parents of our own students. So that trend has started where parents have started participating. This is important because the parents should be an integral part of our education system. They should understand what we are doing, why we are teaching this to their children, what is the purpose. So this all, today I felt very happy looking at all those children. And I don't know, maybe they can present that skit sometime to everyone. They're very, very smart kids. And I felt very happy. Of course, our PG students have gone there, but I'm sure if these kids at 6th and 7th are like this, by the time they reach PG, there'll be something definitely we can't even imagine. So they were so good. Overall, I felt going to that hostel, truly, it gave me a lot of kind of a reassurance that what we are doing is right. The big changes that we made, why we made with a purpose, with a vision, that vision is getting materialized now. So that made me very happy, and I expect that more and more parents, understand this culture, this idea, our ethos, and participate wholeheartedly in this effort to revitalize, rejuvenate, to revive our culture, and install it in every child's heart. So strong that the child should never feel confused or diffident about our culture. It should be very strong and clear. That happens when you have learnt well, and also you have practiced, and therefore you have understood and assimilated. That opportunity is also available. So I do not see, personally I felt so fulfilled and so satisfied by looking at all this. And I look forward to visiting other campuses also. So pull up your socks. But then one side, if you think that we should do everything because God is all the time watching us, then where is the question of we doing something special on certain days? Every day should be a good day, right? Any day you should. I asked the children, when do you want me to come again? So they said, whenever you want, you can come. I said, that is a good answer. It should not be whenever we want. We get ready, we will clean up the hostel, we will set everything right, then only you come. We are always ready. Anytime you can walk in. That confidence our children should have in all campuses. So anytime you come, we are the same every day. We are always prepared to receive you, to present to you, and we are never afraid. We are never scared because we are always doing the right thing. So where is the question of my coming on certain days and making it an occasion? Any day I come, it should be the same, isn't it? That's how all campuses, all students should be. But I'm very happy, and I hope children are also enjoying and teachers are also enjoying. Mahavid Vishavahe is happening. Nobody's troubling anybody. And all these campuses are growing. And I want to take this education to every district of this country. At least one such institution in every district, so that that becomes a role model for others to follow. But that's still a long, long way. However, looking at these children, I feel confident that at least one part of it is taken care of. We are training right kind of people. That's more important than anything else. They can transform the whole education system. Only an institution like ours is capable of teaching things in the right way. And also pair it with the idea of service to all, not just learning for yourself, for your benefit, but for benefit of all. This idea is very unique to our institution. This is what I wanted to share with you. And I have embraced you all as my own. Our teachers have taken care of you like their own children, their own disciples. And that's why you are getting to learn everything here without anything being withheld for the sake of certain deservedness as per the scriptures or as per the orthodox rules. Everybody gets to learn everything. So I was telling the children, learn everything, but master one thing at least. You should be known for that one thing. So you say music, this boy is a great singer. While he is also a good cricketer, also he is good at studies and everything else. So something, or you are a cricketer, he is a very good cricketer, while he also is other things. So every child should pick up one area of their interest, which really makes them feel happy. They never get bored doing it. Apart from eating and sleeping, that nobody gets bored of it. So don't put that into this category. Apart from your basic needs, you keep aside. Yeah, culinary skills are okay. You want to be a good chef and you are interested in Pakashastra. That is was, Nala was the king who was written Pakashastra. He was a king. He was ruling a country, but he was also very interested in cooking and feeding people. So he came up with a lot of recipes. I say, Yanna Bharate, Tanna Bharata. What is not there here is not there anywhere in the world. Everything was here at least a couple of centuries before. But today we have been made to forget. Our knowledge systems were destroyed, libraries were burnt, teachers were driven away or killed, and that's how all of this Indian knowledge system collapsed. But now it's time again to revive it. And the other day I was talking to a historian, a very celebrated historian in the recent times. I was telling them, this is the time of India. This century is India's century. This is the India which has a spiritual story to tell the world. While all the other things may happen or may not happen as per whatever be the destiny, but this time is when India can stand up again and talk this spirituality to the whole world, teach this spirituality to the whole world. And this time we have to get it right. We can't afford to make a mistake. Because after 1,000 years, we have got this opportunity to speak again about our culture and spirituality when the world is prepared to listen. This is the time we should have the right narrative and say it right, and not mince words and confuse ourselves and others. This is the time when we talk about the universal idea of our culture, not just an individual or a continental or a national, but a universal idea. And that is what our culture is about. So this is the right time, and you are the right spokespersons. You are the people who have to go and talk about it to others. Because your generation will listen to your generation only. They will not listen to a generation above or below. So therefore, lot is riding on your shoulders. 50% of world population being young, more young people being born in India and growing in India, they all need to be told this. They are not privileged to join institutions like this. Very few of you have got this opportunity. So a huge responsibility is there for you to learn and then to preach and teach this to others in the future. And I hope each one of you will participate in this great mission of spreading this idea of Sanatana Dharma, the right kind of value systems, the culture and philosophy of our spirituality, to every nook and corner of the world, not just in India, everywhere. That's why opening all these ashrams. And this year, because of this pressure of putting Vedic students back in our schools for the want of teachers, hopefully in a year or so I can post Vedic students in different countries and help those countries to learn about our scriptures and things like that. So Vedic students are going to go everywhere, and they are going to preach this to all the people. So Vedic students should be very happy and should be excited, because theirs is going to be a global mission, truly going out to corners of the world and teaching them. That is the idea of our starting the Vedic education. Produce our own teachers who are well trained both academically and also in all the scriptures. We have a dedicated course of Vedic sciences so that they have better understanding of Sanskrit language and also every detail of the scripture with essence. They can explain to the children then things will start changing, and it's already started happening. So I'm looking forward to visiting this campus this year, all the more because so many of our Vedic studies students have been posted in various campuses as interns, and they are taking efforts to teach. Few changes will also happen from Guru Purnima. The prayer patterns, more of our scriptural prayers will get inside than a repetitive prayers that we make. So that every day you're reminded of these scriptures and you memorize it, and also kind of every time you chant or sing, you also absorb the meaning and meditate upon that. And subconsciously it will go in. Without your knowledge, it will become a part of you. And it will change you from inside, without your knowledge. Very happy to all the teachers, lot of blessings. Please keep doing this. All the students, interns, postgraduates, please keep doing this. This is so very fulfilling. And you will find out, this is Atmano Mokshartam Jagat Cha. This is in practice. You will be benefited and others also will be taken care of. That will be your contribution to the building a better world. And this legacy that you leave behind will remain forever. That will lead you to immortality. This sacrifice that you make for others, that will remain an immortal legacy for the whole world. As they said, it will change the DNA of the world, the spiritual DNA. That is what is job that you have got to do. So more of you should join and grow up fast, learn fast, so that you can do this work more.